Hi. Welcome to Finance, Business and Investing, and in this video we have a look at Poor Charlie's Almanac. The fifth most important takeaway from Charlie Munger's Almanac is to begin with the don't. When amateurs play tennis, the winner is usually not determined by the fastest or most skilled shots. Instead, when amateurs play tennis, the person who hits the net the fewest times and misses the court usually wins. Simply put, you win by playing it safe the fewest number of times. According to Charlie, the loser is usually the person who tries to hit hard and advanced shots. This also applies to life in general and, more importantly, investing. Attempting to be consistently not stupid and staying within your circle of competence is preferable to attempting to be extremely intelligent. If you want to be a successful investor, which I am sure is why you are watching this video, you will need to select markets, industries, and companies where you can create and sustain an informational edge so that you know the ins and outs better than the rest of the investing crowd. One critical step in this process is to define your circle of competence in the process of determining where you can create this edge for yourself. Start at the other end by deciding which markets and industries to avoid. For example, I've tried to avoid companies based outside of Sweden that aren't yet profitable. Banks and insurance firms, to name a few. It all comes down to creating an edge on which you can bet heavily when opportunity presents itself by avoiding areas that are not within your circle of competence. Charlie Munger and his partner in crime can help you better understand and control your risk. For a long time, Warren Buffett avoided investing in technology companies. As a result, they've missed out on a lot of opportunities. But, more importantly, they avoided making numerous errors. For example, they glided through the dot-com bubble with ease. This is a critical component of any investing process, and I'd like to ask you, which companies do you avoid today? Starting with the donuts is one of Charlie Munger's favorite mental models, and he has been quoted as saying, "All I want to know is where I'm going to die so I don't go there." And, once again, this model can be used when playing tennis or chess, when looking for a suitable spouse, or when selecting an education or job by simply eliminating the worst alternatives and thus playing in such a way that you do not lose. Number 4, you will be a big winner in investing and in life in general. Lollapalooza Charlie Munger is credited with coining the term, lollapalooza effect, which refers to an extraordinary outcome where 1 + 1 = 23. A lollapalooza effect occurs when an outcome is much greater than the sum of its parts. One positive effect amplifies the power of the next, and so on and so forth. You want to invest in areas where such self-reinforcing loops are possible. One of the greatest brands in history, for example, was created by combining the elements of a great product with powerful stimulants, clever marketing, ease of availability, and social proofing. What brand do you believe it is? Coca-Cola is the brand. Of course, Coca-Cola has not only completely dominated the soft drink market, but it is also the most widely distributed physical product in the entire world. But how is this possible? It's just your average soft drink. The end result is a great product with both a desirable taste and stimulation from sugar and caffeine, which was the first step. This was combined with an excellent marketing strategy that triggered the psychological systems inherent in humans. As Charlie Munger puts it, the brain of man yearns for the type of beverage that the pretty woman can't have. Then there's the convenience of store availability and the social proof associated with the brand. All of these systems working together to create the Lollapalooza effect for Coca-Cola and an incredible mode to keep competitors from nagging on Coke's market share. However, Charlie points out that determining where and when these Lollapalooza effects can occur is difficult because a multidisciplinary approach is required. Not only will you need a solid understanding of economics, business, and the industry you want to work in, but you will also need a solid understanding of psychology, statistics, and business law. This is the undiscovered source that can assist you in locating stocks that will skyrocket. But, more importantly, learn from other people's mistakes in Poor Charlie's Almanac, numbers 2 and 3. Charlie Munger serves up a recipe for disaster. If you're into that, learning everything you can from your own mistakes is one of the ingredients for great misery. Instead of learning from the experiences of others, both living and dead, you can see the consequences of not learning from the mistakes of others by simply looking around you. There is a constant stream of drunk driving deaths, for example. A little less dramatic, but still fatal mistake for an investor is the tendency for people and companies to fall into bankruptcy due to financial leverage by ignoring the lessons that other people have already learned. You will undoubtedly become unhappy, and you will be guaranteed of achieving second-rate results. Instead, begin by learning from others, preferably from masters in the field you want to advance in. You will notice that you are making much faster progress than if you were walking on every mine by yourself. Yes, diversifying into 10 different stocks may be slower than going all in on a micro-cap company, but you will almost certainly end up with a much more solid result. So learn about history. Look around you to see what makes great people great. What is it that slows people down, and how do you climb the shoulders of giants? Charlie Munger. And Warren Buffett climbed on the shoulders of Benjamin Graham and Philip Fisher, and look where it got them. Their company, Berkshire Hathaway, is now the world's 6th most valuable stock market company. If I've seen more than other men, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. Sir Isaac Newton II has become a Swiss Army knife. Investing and forecasting a company's future cash flow is, in some ways, just a type of problem solving that necessitates a multidisciplinary approach. Companies are frequently analogous to complex organisms. Internally, there are products, people, processes, incentives, culture leaders, and so on. On the outside, there is an ecosystem that includes laws and regulations, competitors, suppliers, bias and macro trends, and so on. All of this adds up to a rather complex situation with numerous variables affecting the company's future cash flow. To solve this puzzle, you'll need to arm your mind with a mental equivalent of a Swiss Army knife. Have you ever heard of the man with the hammer syndrome? A person with only a hammer in his toolbox will treat every problem as if it were a nail and hammer away on it. He will do this even if the problem is a screw and requires a screwdriver. In investing, you don't want to be the man with the hammer to become a successful investor. You will need a toolbox that includes a variety of readily available tools. Yes, all investing necessitates a solid understanding of finance, such as knowing what types of investments will perform well during periods of high inflation, which you can learn about in my summary of Berkshire Hathaway University. But you will also need to understand history, psychology, politics, mathematics, engineering, biology, business law, statistics, and so on. You will be forced to undertake if you do not understand at least the fundamentals of these various fields. Hidden risks and unknown unknowns limit your potential as an investor. A great way to excel in these major fields is to read a lot. Charlie Munger says, "In my entire life, I have known no wise people who did not read all the time." Simply go to Amazon and browse the various categories. Find the best books in a variety of subjects, then turn on the reading lamp, and remember to use my Amazon link in the description for all purchases. Charlie Munger concludes that, just as multiple factors shape almost every system, multiple models from various disciplines must be applied fluently to understand that system. Okay, now it's time for the first Charlie Munger investing checklist. Charlie Munger's mind is very structured, as is his method. In terms of investing, he claims that no wise pilot, regardless of talent or experience, fails to use his checklist, and the same is true for investors. So there you have it, Charlie Munger's, a checklist for investing and risk. All investments should begin with a risk assessment. Use a margin of safety. Greater risk necessitates additional compensation. Avoid major mistakes, and achieve permanent capital loss independence. Think for yourself. Only in fairy tales are emperors told they are naked. You cannot remain objective and rational while listening to hogwash that people agree with you does not make your analysis correct. Nor does people disagree with you make it wrong. Mimicking the herd will give you the results of the herd. Intellectual humility. Admitting what you don't know is where you should begin. Above all, stay within your circle of competence, identify and think through evidence that contradicts your own point of view. Never delude yourself, and remember that no one is as good as you are at it. Allocation. Proper capital allocation is an investor's #1 job. Keep in mind that there is always an opportunity cost. When the odds are heavily stacked in your favor, bet heavily. Don't get too attached to an investment. Stay skeptical. Patience. Resist the human bias to act. Compound interest is the world's 8th wonder. Never, ever interrupt someone unnecessarily. Where you live is in the process. So remember to enjoy it as well as the results. God protects against the effects of arrogance and boredom, and provides decisiveness when appropriate circumstances present themselves. Act decisively and with conviction. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Opportunities do not come along very often. So, when it happens, stay prepared. Only those who are aware of opportunities can seize them.